This video is my thoughts on the newer iPhone 2018 that's coming out in a few weeks from now. There's been a lot of reports already on three types of phones that will be coming out. They're all edge-to-edge displays. They have a newer 6.5 inch plus model. The old model is, I think, 5.8, and then a cheap model that's probably going to be a 6.1, and it's again an edge-to-edge display. The two good models are OLED models, and the cheap one is going to be an LCD. But I think that Apple has really lost it on this. Unfortunately, they don't really have anything new to release. They're going by the concept of an iPhone 10 from last year from an edge-to-edge display that didn't really sell that great. And what I've seen, there doesn't appear to be any Touch ID anymore. If Apple has gotten rid of Touch ID, they have really lost their marbles. This is really the stupidest thing they could do. Also, the cheaper model, whether they call it an iPhone 9 or whatever they call it, they've come out with a whole bunch of colors for it. It kind of reminds me of the last time they came out with the 5C, and it was really kind of a big failure and really didn't do too well. If they had come out with something, a smaller phone with good technology in it, like an SC or something, it would sell really well. They didn't apparently do that. And so also, if they had kept the Touch ID on that, it would have been a major bestseller. So they just really lost the boat already. We have a few weeks to go, but there's a really strong indication that these three new phones are going to be what Apple's actually going to come out with. The cheaper phone, technically it'll have a little bit better technology. The iOS 12 that's coming out is really not that great. It's got some hype that's been pushed into it, but there are things that they could do on any time they wanted to. As far as the speed of apps opening, they have control of that setting, and they can make it as fast as they want to make it. So I don't think really the iOS 12 is going to be that great. And the cheaper phone without Touch ID, it's really sad. A lot of people are still going to want Touch ID, and they're going to end up having to buy the old phones. The Plus model will sell, of course, and it'll sell well because it's so big, and it's got Face ID on it. And so some people, will just force themselves to accept the Face ID. The cheaper model with an OLE will sell fairly well too, but both of them together aren't going to do much better than the iPhone 10 did last year. And now they don't even have an iPhone 8 to sell anymore, except their old iPhone 8s. And so a lot of people will buy the old iPhone 8s. Even though they're edge-to-edge displays, they offer more real estate. Apple's pushing this really hard. They may have a newer face technology, which may help a little bit, but it's still not going to be the same as Touch ID. Touch ID is a security thing that's very, very useful for joggers and other people. It's just really a necessity. And the Face ID just doesn't really cut it. The technology in iOS 12 just doesn't seem to be there. I think that Apple has really lost their marbles on this, and they have really made a massive mistake, and it will hurt them in the market heavily. Apple was supported heavily by all the iPhone companies. It means a lot to everybody's business out there. So if Apple gets hurt, there's a lot of other people get hurt also. But this remains to be seen. So far, the Androids have really missed the boat. They've had a lot of production problems, and they haven't produced decent phones. Their quality has been so poor that they can't even beat Apple's quality. And so it's going to throw everything up in the air. In addition to that, but some of these other companies do have Touch ID, and so it will hurt them heavily on that. So I think that we're going to be in for a sad year this year. Maybe next year they'll come out with something newer, or maybe they'll add Touch ID back next year or something else. But I think this year Apple missed the boat. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And thanks a lot.